Good morning, race fans from a loud and noisy Richmond International Raceway. That is because the K&N Pro Series East is on track for one of their final practices before their race this evening. But we are in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series garage, and this is NASCAR.com GarageCam. Matthew Dillner is still working on his bass guitar lessons. And I am Matt Strickert, and I am filling in for him this week. We are going to take you on an interactive stroll through the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series garage this morning. So remember to log into the chat room on your right. Ask us some requests. Ask us to see some of your favorite drivers. We're going to make our way through. Over here we got the 34 of David Reagan, Taco Bell on this machine. We're coming up on the 1-year anniversary of David Reagan's win at Talladega. The David and David Goliath type victory. And here we got the number 7 Pilot Chevrolet, driven by Michael Annette. And there's the number 23 of Alex Bowman. We're going to do something a little different this week. We've already got our Mobile One Auto Tech question of the week. Over here we've got Rick Cecil. Go ahead and give you this, that way you can talk. We're here at Richmond, engine tuner for the number 23 BK Racing Toyota. We do new qualifying procedures this year. You're now allowed to cool down your cars in between runs. What exactly goes into a cool down unit, and how does it help you guys to cool the engine to make more runs during those qualifying sessions?
Well, what we do with the cool down units is filled up with water most of the time, and we use that to circulate through the engine between runs, because during the qualifying run they try to put as much tape on the front end of the car as you can to get the downforce, so that really heats up the engine pretty quick. So between runs we bring it in and hook up the cool down unit to get the engine temperature back down, you know, to a livable level for the engine. And used to, we just had to do it one time on our traditional qualifying runs, but now, since we have multiple attempt qualifying runs, it's real critical that we keep that thing down. And so sometimes it gets up so hot we have to use ice. So it just depends on how hot the engine gets, whether we want to use just water to cool it down, or we want that little ice in there and get it down even further, or get it down quicker, because we might be running out of time during the qualifying session.
Now this qualifying session is going to be run going into the evening tonight. How does the temperature and the weather of when you're qualifying affect whether or not you're going to use the ice or the water for an evening session like this one?
Well, we still just go by the engine temperature. You know, I use a heat gun to see where the engine actually is. It doesn't really matter about the temperature outside, because the grill being taped up is going to dictate, you know, how fast it heats up. So it really doesn't matter about the weather out here now on these multiple attempt runs. Used to, when we just had the one attempt, the traditional qualifying run, we used to have to, you know, take the weather into consideration there. But here it really doesn't matter as much.
All right, well, Rick, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
We're going to let him continue to tune on the number 23 and get out there for a good practice session. And there is the number 23 of Alex Bowman. Point something unique out for you race fans today. Right up here on the top of all the cars this weekend, whether it's the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series, Nationwide, or K&N, the green stripe across the windshield for NASCAR Green. The other day was Earth Day. And there's a lot of green things here at Richmond this weekend. More than, usually green is not something you look for with a race car. The green, 13, peanuts, but NASCAR is embracing it. And we're gonna use green and turn that superstition around. Here's the number 98, Josh Wise. This team had an excellent run in Darlington for a single car team with no sponsors on the quarter panels. Ran up in the middle of the pack for most of the day. And as I was talking, our tablet that we have here was just blowing up. Got all sorts of comments. So we're gonna go and we're gonna read some of them for you guys as we make our way around the other side of the garage. The number 66. Leah Bartlett, I won't be here for GarageCam, so can you show me Casey Kane? We can show Casey Kane at some point. We're gonna be getting around to him. The garages here at Richmond are kind of set up in 2 garages with 2 sides. So we're gonna be all over the place, but we're gonna get you everything that you wanna see. Luis DiDonato, I'd love to see my favorite driver, Jeff Gordon. Absolutely, we will get there. And first in chat today, Carol Hallett, happy Fast Friday. Love to see that number 99 of Carl Edwards. We'll make sure we get you that. There's Jamie McMurray, driver of the number 1. Getting ready to climb in his machine for some practice. So, Richmond International Raceway, it's a very unique place. Here in the South, not that far from Washington, D.C., bunch of Civil War history. But this racetrack has a bunch of history of its own. It didn't always used to be a 3/4 mile asphalt surface. This track used to be a half-mile dirt track. The first race winner, Lee Petty, back in 1953. 1968, the track was paved. And in 1988, this track was reconfigured to a 3/4 mile D-shaped oval. Still, we had not been running under the lights. Marcus Ambrose, though, is ready to take this car underneath the lights. It's a great racing for a miracle he has on this car. Bunch of these kids and the things that they are going through, he's raising awareness. I believe that if he wins, I think there's a big check worth $1 million that is going to go toward this if he wins. I think if he even finishes last, it's something like $100,000. So no matter what, money is going to be given to charity, which is a great cause. All right, you people on 5-hour energy, you're not freaking out. You haven't had too much sugar. You're not going off the wall. Yes, these are new colors on Clint Boyer's number 15 AAA Insurance Mike Waltrip Racing Camry. And if I do say so, it looks pretty snazzy. Clint Boyer trying to get Michael Waltrip Racing into victory lane this year. And it's even more important here because the next time that we show up to Richmond International Raceway, it's the last race before the chase, folks. Another car that's looking for a win, and he's been knocking on the door of a win this year. A second place finish at Fontana, California. Showing he may be a rookie, but he's not racing like a rookie. Some new Axe colors on the number 42. There's those rookie stripes. They're going to be on all year, but that doesn't mean that he's going to be treated like a rookie all year. Kyle Larson is quickly making his way through the ranks to become a successful NASCAR Sprint Cup Series driver. Moving on to the number 55, another Michael Waltrip Racing entry, Brian Vickers. Brian Vickers, if you're keeping track on NASCAR Fantasy Live this weekend, he might be a sneaky pick for you. He's good at Loudon. His track's somewhat comparable, somewhat flat. So it's under a mile, but the setups can somewhat be the same. And he always runs pretty well here. I don't say, call him my shot or anything, so don't hold me to it, but Brian Vickers might not be a bad pick. Another driver that's looking for a win. 2 of his 4 cars already have wins this year. The team as a whole has 3. Tony Stewart, owner Stewart Haas Racing, looking to take his machine to victory lane. This is actually, it has been, my math's a little off, but since 1999, we'll just go ahead and say that, since Tony Stewart won his first ever NASCAR Sprint Cup Series race right here at Richmond International Raceway. So remember that green theme that I was telling you about a minute ago? This is green to a whole nother level. Not just a green stripe across the front. We've got different shades of greens. We've got crisscross patterns up on the roof. It's the number 16 car, Roush Fenway Racing, Greg Biffle. Let's see what else we got going on in the chat room here. Let's see what other people got to say. Kyle Larson fan from Wisconsin. You wanted to see the 42? Well, I hope you enjoyed the number 42 Axe Piece Chevy. Here's another rookie that Kyle Larson is battling for rookie year, the number 3 Dow Chemicals Chevrolet from RCR of Austin Dillon. This 3 machine, it's not black and silver like seniors used to be, but it's got the black 3 on the roof, a black front, a lot of things that look somewhat similar to what Dale's old car used to be. You see the crew making sure that Austin's view is going to be perfectly clean out that windshield. Timothy Beck, you wanted to see the 15 of Clint Boyer and wish him and his new wife Laura a happy wedding anniversary. They did get hitched over the weekend. Off weekend, that is, in the Bahamas. So what we're going to do here, we're going to do a little figure 8. For you short track racers, you know exactly what I'm talking about. We're going to do a little figure 8 loop in the garage here, go over to the back side, and then back over to the front side. NASCAR Sprint Cup Series hauler, you don't want to go there, folks. That's a no good place to be, unless you like to get in trouble, which there's a couple guys that probably don't always have a problem with that. So here we are making our way on the other side of the garage, the second NASCAR Sprint Cup Series garage. And we find more green and yellow and fish. Long John Silver's. Anyone hungry? CJ, audio guy, you getting hungry at all? It's still not lunchtime, but the number 38 of David Gilliland. David, part of that tag team effort to win at Talladega for this team, Front Row Motorsports. Which next week when we get to Talladega, I'm sure will be all the talk. DRL, you want to see Stewart Haas cars, JGR cars. Richmond International Raceway is your favorite track. Well, there's no doubt that we're here at Richmond. We've shown you a couple Stewart Haas cars, including this one of Danica Patrick. D. Tucker 1964 from Canada. Montreal Canadiens moving on in the Stanley Cup playoffs. I don't know if Danica Patrick's a huge hockey fan, but if she was, she'd probably be a Blackhawks fan, being the fact that she's from Illinois. There's the number 10 helmet. And then right across, here's the number 78 of Martin Truex Jr. Now I want to point something out cool on this car. I'm going to have my camera guy come over here. Martin Truex Jr. is running one of the most unique helmets with this camo scheme. And on the back of it, he's got all these soldiers on it, paying tribute to the men and women of our armed forces who do so much for us and risking their lives every day to protect our freedom, and we thank them for that. So it's a unique touch by Truex to run that helmet, and it's pretty cool looking. If I'm looking in the rearview mirror and I see him in the windshield behind me, I'm not going to feel too good about it. And he should have a good chance this weekend. The number 78 car ran well here last time in the fall with Kurt Busch behind the wheel to help get Kurt Busch into the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup. Justin Allgaier, another rookie contender, looking to keep gaining experience and getting track time in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. It's a tough series to succeed in, but you put the effort in and you work hard for it, it'll pay off. The number 41, the third of 4 Stewart Haas cars running this weekend. There's the Outlaw, and there's that winner sticker right there. That, folks, that's what you want every single week, because you get more of those and you're guaranteeing yourself a chase in the NASCAR Sprint Cup come September. As we look next door, Ricky Stenhouse, driver of the number 17 Nationwide Insurance Ford Garage Fenway Racing. We're halfway, folks. Halfway through NASCAR Sprint Cup Series GarageCam. We haven't seen many drivers out. Not quite sure where they are or what they're doing. Maybe they'll come out. Maybe if we cook up some Smithfield bacon with the number 43 team, we can get some drivers out here. Because who doesn't love bacon? And now we're on to a blue theme. We had the blue car of Ricky Stenhouse, the blue car of Eric Almirola, and now we got the blue car of Casey Kane, this number 5, Farmers Insurance Chevrolet for Hendrick Motorsports. And remember, as Rick was talking, when they go to qualify, all these grills are going to be taped up. Get as much downforce on these cars, and that's why they got to cool the engines, because all the heat just stays underneath that hood. Put the cool down unit in over the flaps so they can keep these grills taped up. That way they can keep making fast laps run after run. I don't know if anyone's hungry for lunch yet, but right next door to Casey Kane, we got new colors on Kevin Harvick's number 4 Chevy for Stewart Haas Racing. Outback. Get you a bloomin' onion, mate. Kevin Harvick, obviously the most recent winner at Darlington Raceway. Got some interesting looking colors on this number 4 car this week. Casey Mears right next door to him, driver of the number 13. Now see, he's got green and 13. But he's been doing that for a while, so I don't think he's too worried about it. Just notice this, Tigra, crazy Harvick fan here, show the number 4. He's gonna win. Calling her shot, saying he's gonna be the third win of the year. There's Casey Mears. Working on his number 13 car for this crew. Getting set for their first NASCAR Sprint Cup Series practice today. And look who it is. It's Madison Martin. I'm gonna give you this because it's really loud here in case you didn't notice.
So loud.
Look at this new fire chute you got going on. We're gonna get run over by a car here.
I'm gonna take a picture.
There you go, fans. Make sure to follow the Miss Sprint Cups on Twitter as they're taking their photos. Is this you told me at the beginning of the year in Daytona that you could not wait to come back to this racetrack because this is your favorite racetrack.
This is my favorite racetrack. You can get so close to your favorite driver here. It's very cool, very unique. I just love Richmond. I'm excited to be here.
All right, you were at the Denny Hamlin Short Track Showdown last night. How was that at South Boston Speedway for you last night?
I'm having the hardest time hearing it. I have no idea what you just said.
Denny Hamlin Short Track Showdown last night.
Yeah.
How was the event?
It was awesome. It was so cool. I've never been to South Boston before, so it was so unique. I got to meet a lot of fans out there too. It's so cool to see the short tracks. It's very neat.
It's short track fever everywhere. Thank you, Madison, for stopping by and hanging out with us. Go take some more photos, some more green photos. Green's the color of the weekend.
I'm tweeting photos today, but I seriously, I can't hear anything you say.
All right, we'll let her get back to it. These K&N cars, they don't have the most horsepower in the world, but goodness gracious, they are loud over here. Big thanks to our cameraman Fig for keeping us all from getting run over by Casey Mears as they were repositioning the car there. We're going to move to the final side of the garage. Hopefully we get a little reprieve from the noise. There's the number 20 with Matt Kenseth. Another team still looking for that elusive victory this season. A team that won a season-high 7 races. And it looks like we got a driver spotting back here. All poised and ready to go. Your current point leader, Jeff Gordon. Hanging out by his number 24 Chevrolet. Jeff Gordon, believe it or not, this is a track where he doesn't have many wins. But if he could ever use one on a short track, this would be the time. Ran great here in the fall last year. Always runs well, just needs the brakes to kind of go his way in order to get this team in victory lane and get one of those chase stickers that we were talking about. Lock themselves in. See the front of the number 24 all taped up as well. Got about 10 minutes and these cars will be hitting the track for the first Sprint Cup Series practice. It's the first time cars have been on track in like a week and a half. I don't know about you fans, but I'm pretty excited for that. It's been a lot of waiting around, doing nothing but eating candy. I highly doubt Matt Kenseth back there has been eating candy though. These drivers are usually pretty fit and ready to go. You know, when Matthew Dillner's not around, you get a lot of weird looks from people when they go, "You're not Dillner doing this." But luckily, you know some of them, and they're just messing with you. So here's another cool scheme, night racing. Lots of great paint schemes that come out for the night races. And here's a really cool one. On the number 99, Ford, #always_racing, Ford Fusion of Carl Edwards. Very cool scheme. Some bright neon there on the nose. There's Carl Edwards. We're doing some GarageCam. Dillner's not here this weekend.
This is the man. There was something I was gonna say on GarageCam this week. I forgot what it was, but so it's the FordAlwaysRacing.com Ford. It's a pretty cool car, and this is not a PR plug. It's real. You guys got to check the website out because there's supposedly a video of Ambrose and myself and Stenhouse, Almirola going crazy in these little go-karts Ford made. And it's probably one of the most fun things I've done in a long time. I have crazy Ford teammates, crazy. So anyway, it's FordAlwaysRacing.com. It's cool of them to be on the car, and I like the car too. It looks nice.
And you Ford. Ricky Stenhouse is running the Nationwide Blue on you.
Yeah.
You're running the blue here. The last time we were here in the fall that you won,
yeah,
you had the multicolored Kellogg's. Are you ready to take some blue to victory lane and go back to back?
Blue will be good in victory lane. So we have been having fun here. There's Madison. How's it going?
We just tried to talk to her a little earlier, and she couldn't hear anything I was saying.
What's that?
She couldn't hear anything I was saying earlier.
I made you say it twice.
Yeah, I know.
So,
oh man.
So yeah, hopefully we can do well here again. I love this place. So much fun. And we've got a win already. We're doing great in the points. The guys have been working really hard. So this is all about having some fun and hopefully getting to victory lane again. Richmond's great.
There you go. Go get another one of those winner stickers on there. Carl Edwards, driver of the number 99. Always appreciate him stopping by and taking time with GarageCam. And right next to Carl, the fan favorite, the one and only, Dale Earnhardt Jr. Yeah. The crowd goes crazy. Junior's number 88 ride, coming off a second place at Darlington, a track that he historically does not do very well at. Cat, 48 please. It would make this girl really happy with a lot of Y's at the end of it. Well, we hope you make you happy with a lot of Y's at the end of it, because here is the number 48 of 6-time and defending NASCAR Sprint Cup Series champion, Jimmie Johnson. Crew making sure this car is ready to hit the track. And there's Kyle Busch, Rowdy, getting ready to strap into the number 18 M&M's Toyota Camry for Joe Gibbs Racing. I believe we had a request for Kyle. As Kyle gets ready to strap in, we've got Dale Jr. sighting. Driver number 88 getting ready to strap into his machine and get ready to go practice. Dale Jr. getting Robert Griffin III here this weekend to drive the pace car. I don't know if Dale's going to give him any tips on how to drive the pace car, but it's amazing the power of Twitter. Going to keep moving along here. We got a few more cars to show you that we haven't gotten to yet. We want to do it before everything gets ready to go. So from one Joe Gibbs car to another. There's Denny actually even talking to Brad Keselowski. Stallmates here in the garage. Driving in the FedEx ground colors this weekend. He was the host of the Denny Hamlin Short Track Showdown last night, South Boston Speedway. Big smile on his face, raising a lot of money for a good cause and just having fun racing some late models. Matt Kenseth was out there. I know NASCAR.com analyst Marty Snyder, his son, was out racing last night, and there is Brad Keselowski. He's been running a white scheme or a yellow, but he has not run a blue scheme yet this year, and it's not even the blue of Miller Lite, but it is a blue deuce. We'll call it the baby blue deuce. Does that work? Baby blue on Brad Keselowski's car this weekend. Denny climbing into his number 11 machine. you get that sense of urgency when these drivers show up and they start climbing into their cars. NASCAR officials start moving people out of the way, that it's getting ready to be go time. About to get ready to put these cars out on the track and see what they have. Got a couple more cars to show you, and one of them is another winner this year, along with Brad Keselowski. His teammate over at Team Penske, Joey Logano, driver of the number 22. Won a few weeks ago at Texas Motor Speedway. Last lap pass at Jeff Gordon coming down to the wire. And here's the number 31, Ryan Newman. You look at him inside there, he is ready to go. There's no messing around with Ryan Newman on this one, the Quicken Loans. For those race fans, you remember the old Wheeling car that Steve Park used to drive, the number 31? This car reminds me a lot of that. It's not as bright of a red, but it still somewhat reminds me of that vehicle. All right, fans, drivers are strapped in, and we're getting ready to hear the whistle. So we're going to get to the front of the garage, and we're going to show you these bad boys rolling out. Denny Hamlin strapped in, ready to go. Kyle Busch strapped in, ready to rock. I don't know if you can hear it, but I can hear the sound of engines. Jimmy Johnson all ready and locked in. Dale Jr.'s window net going up. Carl Edwards' window net going up. Putting those gloves on. Matt Kenseth already in his machine. Already lined up. And so is Jeff Gordon. These guys are ready, chomping at the bit. After not being in a car for a week and a half, who can blame them? According to my clock, we have literally just a few minutes before these cars get ready to roll. This race is going to be big, as I said, because when we come back here in the fall, it'll be the last race before the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup. As Alan Cavana put earlier this week on the preview show, you'd much rather get the win this weekend. Carl Edwards looking for a second win. Try to ensure that he's one of those 16 that make the chase grid. Time to crank him up. You heard it. You heard the whistle. Comes Jeff Gordon rolling by, the number 24, looking for his first win of the year. Same can be said for Matt Kenseth, driver of the number 20. Carl Edwards got a win at one of the last short tracks we were at, looking for number 2, and he was the most recent winner here. Dale Jr. Jimmy Johnson looking to add his name to the winners list for 2014. Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, a couple of Joe Gibbs teammates. Joe Gibbs always runs well here. Kyle Busch even won this race once on his birthday. Number 31, Ryan Newman, getting ready to roll by. Well, fans, it's about that time. Time to let these NASCAR Sprint Cup Series machines hit the track for practice. It's time for you to make sure you stay on NASCAR.com all day today. Highlights, analysis, results, and points from everything from practices to the NASCAR Nationwide Series race this evening. A few more cars rolling by, and make sure you check out the race tomorrow night under the lights, Richmond International Raceway. On Fox at 7 p.m. As the cars roll out, Matthew Dillner will be back. So until next time, well, Dillner, it's all yours.